Everybody, we are back for another episode. So let's take a look at what we're going to do today.
No, you're not bringing home another piece of junk.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode. So we're going to change the format a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So it seems like every few years of my life, the Lord has this way of poking me and saying, I want a little bit more from you. I want you to do things a little bit different. So, I've been talking about since we started this channel a couple of years ago, and it's been such a great thing for me to be able to share God's word and have a ministry on here. But I kind of feel like, I'm putting the message at the end of the videos. And sometimes I kind of get the video stuff done. I'm rushing to get it out. I want to get it out and have people see what's going on, especially this series where I'm working on another guy's car, and I know he's waiting to see it. And I kind of throw a quick message together. So through some prayer and stuff, I just think God has been telling me, I would like you to stick me first. And I completely agree. God is number one. He should get top billing. So going forward, we're going to do the message at the beginning of the videos and then the car stuff at the end of the videos, because I want to be obedient and give God his due. Whether the messages are going to be a whole lot better, I'm preparing a little better and asking the Lord for help. But whether or not I become any better speaker, I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to him. But anyway, that's what we're going to do going forward. I hope everybody still sticks around for the whole thing. So anyway, so today's message is I want to cover a guy named Jephthah from the book of Judges, because this is what I'm doing in my read through the Bible series, is where I'm at. There's a couple things struck me about this. So if anybody doesn't know who Jephthah is, he is one of the judges over Israel, and we're picking this up around in chapter 11, where this is one of the many times that Israel has wandered away from God, and at this particular time they started worshiping a bunch of other idols and got themselves into trouble, and God comes down on them, and so they say, they stop worshiping all the other idols, and they kind of get things together, and they are facing a conflict with some people called the Amorites. And so what happens is they need a leader. They need a sergeant or a general, or whatever you want to call it, to lead them in this battle against the Amorites. And so what do? Do they ask God for help? No, they don't ask God for help. They kind of blow it again, and like they seem to always do. And they ask each other and talk amongst themselves. Well, there's this guy named Jephthah. He's kind of a tough guy, a little bit of a little bit of a backstreet fighter guy, I guess you might say. So they go to him and they ask him, will you be our leader against the Amorites? And after a little bit of persuasion, he kind of does. I mean, he does say in there, he says, Jephthah says to the elders, "Did you not hate me and drive me out from my father's house? So why do you come to me now when you're in trouble?" And the elders say, "Well, for this reason, we have now returned to you, that you may go with us and fight the sons of Ammon and become head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." So anyway, Jephthah agrees, and he starts out pretty good by trying to negotiate with the Amorites. And, they kind of go back and forth a little bit. And he's trying to find a peaceful way out of this. It does not work. And he gets to the point where he's like, okay, these Amorites are, they want to fight, and I'm going to have to fight. I'm not sure what to do. So he is going to, what he does is he makes a very foolish vow, and he vows to God that if you give me this victory, I will sacrifice the first thing that walks out of the door of my house when I get home. He's probably thinking like an animal or something that's going to walk out of the house. Well, first of all, he didn't need to make a vow, because at this point, God had already secured the victory for him. All he had to do was be obedient and go forward. But anyway, Jephthah fights the Amorites. He defeats the Amorites. And when he comes home, the first thing that comes out of the door is his daughter, his only daughter. And he is just absolutely devastated. And so in verse 30 is where he makes the vow. And let me see here we go, verse 34. When Jephthah came home to his house in Mitzpeh, behold, his daughter was coming out to meet him with tambourines and with dancing. And she was his one and only child, because beside her he had neither son nor daughter. And it came about, when he saw her, he tore his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are among those who trouble me. I have given the word to my Lord, and I cannot take it back. And her being an obedient daughter, she says, Father, if you've given your word, you're going to have to keep your word. And he vowed to offer her as a burnt offering. And so she just says, let this be done. Let me go alone for 2 months, that I may go into the mountains and weep because of my virginity. I and my companions. He lets her go. She comes back, and then it ends by saying, and it came about at the end of the 2 months that she returned to her father, who did to her according to the vow which he had made, that she had no relations with a man. Thus it became a custom in Israel. And the daughters of Israel went yearly to commemorate the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite 4 days in the year. So it says he did to her according to his vow which he had made. So there is some question, did he actually sacrifice her, physically sacrifice her by killing her? It doesn't say that specifically. There are some scholars who think that maybe she went to work for the temple and remained a virgin and did that for the rest of her life, and that fulfilled the vow. Or maybe more possibly that he did go through with the sacrifice. And this is one of those readings that had made me and maybe a lot of non-believers who read this and believers think this was so unfair of God to allow him to do this, for God to want that vow. Well, one of the things we have to realize in here is God did not ask him to make that vow, and it was a very foolish vow. And we don't see anywhere in here where God demanded that he fulfill that vow. What we see is that Jephthah did not trust God and thought he had to make the vow in the first place. We know that God does not sanction any kind of human sacrifice. Yes, with Abraham and Isaac, he did test Abraham by saying, go into the mountains and sacrifice your son. But as soon as he saw the sign of obedience that he was going to do that, then he called it off. So we know that God abhors any kind of human sacrifice. So you may get that question from non-believers who stumble upon this, or from believers. It's like, if your God is so good, why would he let this guy sacrifice his daughter? And it's like, it wasn't God that sanctioned it. This was the failing of Jephthah is why this happened the way it did. And that can happen a lot of times in our own lives, where we get ahead of God and we're like, we'll make vows and Maybe that God doesn't, God doesn't ask for us to make vows. He just asks us to stay in His Word and be obedient. I kind of lost my train of thought, but anyway, I think there's a lot of good vision in that story when you read that, and you can see that the disobedience of Israel and the disobedience of Jephthah in those little ways along the path led up to this young lady, whatever happened to her, and that this is surely not what God wanted to happen. He doesn't sanction it. He doesn't say it's okay, but He allows it to happen because of the disobedience of the people in there. So anyway, that's a message for today. I hope that had some clarity to it. I really liked it. So go into Judges and read that for yourself. So let's have a quick word of prayer, and then we're not going to be out of here. We're going to go out in the shop. Father, I just thank You for today, and thank You for prompting me to start putting Your message at the beginning of these videos where they belong. And I just pray for everyone out there watching these that no matter how garbled my message may seem to be, if my public speaking isn't what it should be, that You would get it into their hearts where it needs to be. And we just ask this in the precious name of Your Son, Jesus. Amen. All right, so let's go to the shop. At the end of the video, hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and let's get to work. All right, I hope you all enjoyed that message, and that's kind of going to be our new format where we're going to do the message before we do the car stuff, and I think the Lord needs to get top billing, so that's the route we're going to go. So anyway, thought we'd take a look here. This old tractor paint came out really nice. I mean, I'm about as happy as I could be with it. I went ahead and got the car back up on the lift, got the wheels off, and what I'm going to do, part of this video, I'm going to go ahead and paint the frame on this thing with that Pour 15. Probably not going to show myself doing it. I mean, sitting there with a paintbrush, that's not very exciting, but we'll take a look before and after. So a couple other quick updates. I finally just bit the bullet and asked for my money back on the turn signal switch from this guy and just order a universal one. So didn't really want to go that route, but just got tired of waiting, and I can get that universal street rod switch in one day, be here tomorrow. So we're going to get that done. Also on the big block for the Suburban, got the old Chinesium air gap intake, and then I picked up this Holley 3310 off of Marketplace for a really good deal. The thing is super clean. Got that thing for $100, man. That is a good deal. And I also got a new Excel distributor came in, and I got a new starter for it. And dug this old transmission out that I had. This is a SM465 4-speed that I think we're going to be putting in the Suburban project. But anyway, don't want to get sidetracked on other projects. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to set up and we're just going to brush paint this and get that done, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. And I'm probably going to scooch under there and take this. This back is not good today. Take this old charcoal canister vent line off of this thing, because we've got our supply and return over here that we're just going to use those. So we're not even going to use that emission setup. So let me get that done, and we'll come back and take a look. Okay, there we go. So we got the front frame stub all painted. It's looking pretty good. I still need to pull that line out. I'll do that after it dries. And then we're going to go through here, and a lot of this front suspension is just kind of mocked up. Nothing's tight. There's no cotter pins, so we're going to go through and tighten everything up, get cotter pins where we need to, and get all that done. So let me mess with that, and then we'll take another look at where we're at. Hey everybody, so if you're watching this video, This one has probably not come out until at least 2, maybe 3 weeks since my last one. And the reason is I really boogered up my back the other day. I'm not sure what I did. I was kind of digging through some old stuff and got this transmission for the Suburban project I'm going to do, and it's one of those SM, right there, SM 465s, I think it is. It's like a mid-80s granny low 4-speed. But I moved that thing by myself, and it was a couple 100 pounds, and I didn't feel anything at the time. But the next day it started hurting a little bit, and the next day a little bit more, and the next day I was in the emergency room. The pain was so intense, I could not stand it. Ended up getting 2 shots of morphine to cut it, and I've just been in my recliner with ice packs and heating pads and muscle relaxers for, well, that was last Wednesday, and today is Monday, so all weekend I haven't touched anything out here, and it's slowly starting to get better. I think I can still feel something pulling. I'm not sure if that's what did it, or if my sciatic nerve condition's acting up again, or if I got a kidney stone. I don't know what it is, but they did CAT scan at the ER and they couldn't find anything. So following up with my doctor tomorrow, and hopefully get some good news. Right now I can get around, sort of walking, and spending most of the time in the recliner and just trying to heal up, but hopefully get back on this thing soon. So sorry for the late video coming out, but also I know by the time this video comes out I'll probably be healed up and working on this again, but would like some prayer if anybody out there could offer me some prayer. But I'm just out here. That's my wife checking on me, make sure I'm not working. Hang on a second. All right, she was out here being mother hen, making sure I wasn't working on something I shouldn't be and hurting my back. So I'm behaving myself. But anyway, I thought I'd show this. I finally got this thing and got it in before I wounded myself. So I really don't like these cheap aftermarket blinker switches, but this is $33, and the switch, the factory switch for this thing was like $200. So it's like, okay, we went with this, but it's pretty good. Got the little clicker thing on the top, plus I got it on the dash, and my brake lights work. So I'm cruise ready. Everything on this is good to go, and hopefully we'll, if I'm able, if we got a local car show this weekend, we might take a cruise out there. Anxious to drive it. All right, I guess that's gonna be all for now. I'm gonna go back in and rest myself and take my whatever it is, muscle relaxer, which will probably knock me cold in a few minutes, and then hopefully in the next few days we'll be back out here. So we'll check back a little later. Hey everybody, so I'm a doctor today, and I'm going to have about 3 weeks of physical therapy. And I'll tell you what, just driving 20 miles from my house to the doctor's office and back was agonizing. So I thought I'd just go ahead and finish this video and drop it out there, because I need my Christian brothers and sisters praying for me. I've got a high pain threshold, but I'll tell you what, I don't ever remember hurting this bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this video out there, and like I said, just if you could just go ahead and pray for some relief for me. Probably not going to be in the garage for the next couple of weeks, but you know, maybe we'll find something else to put up, maybe some pictures of an old project along with a message, and just because this is a kind of therapy for me doing these videos. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this one. We already did the message at the beginning, so hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and remember me in your prayers this week. All right, we will catch you on the next video.